Have you ever felt like you are walking through the world but never fully a part of it? You can laugh with people, you can smile and even enjoy the company around you, but deep down there is still a quiet space, a distance that no one seems to cross. It feels like you are standing on the outside of a glass window, looking in at life, but never truly belonging. If this has ever been your reality, then maybe you are what people call a Sigma INFJ. The INFJ alone is already rare. Only about 1% of the population is said to carry this type. Empathetic, intuitive, visionary, a natural healer, a quiet observer. And then comes the Sigma part. The Sigma is the lone wolf who refuses to be controlled by society's hierarchy, not the loud alpha, not the dependent beta, but something in between or perhaps beyond. Someone who creates their own rules, walks their own road, and yet carries within them a depth that the world struggles to understand. When Sigma and INFJ combine, you get something truly unique. A soul that loves deeply but walks alone. A person who feels everything intensely but hides it under a calm and steady surface. A presence that others find magnetic but also mysterious. And today I want to share with you 7 powerful signs that you might be one of these rare people. As you listen, ask yourself if these truths echo within you, because the heart knows when it has been recognized. The first sign, you crave deep connections but you often feel alone. Imagine sitting in a room full of people, smiling, nodding, even laughing, yet feeling completely unseen. You join the conversation, but inside you know these words are floating on the surface. You long for depth. You long for someone who does not just hear your words, but understands the silence between them. Have you felt that before? That moment when you realize most people do not even try to see beyond the mask. And so sometimes you retreat. You step away not because you dislike people, but because shallow connections feel heavy. And maybe you have asked yourself, why do I feel lonely even when I am not alone? The truth is, your soul is searching for something rare. And until it finds that, solitude feels more honest than company. That is not weakness. That is strength. It means you are not willing to settle for less than what your heart truly deserves. The second sign, you see through masks. Think about it. How many times have you looked at someone smiling and instantly knew they were hurting? How many times has a friend told you, I am fine, and yet you could feel the heaviness pressing on their chest? Your intuition is like a second heartbeat. It guides you. It whispers the truth behind words. And sometimes it is exhausting, isn't it? Because when you see too much, you also feel too much. You carry their pain without asking. You worry about things that were never said. And yet, you still choose to care. Tell me, how many times have you been the quiet listener, the one who stays when everyone else leaves? Maybe people come to you with their secrets, their hidden fears. And while you may never get the same in return, you hold their truth with compassion. That is your gift. You see people not as they pretend to be, but as they are. And even if no one says thank you, even if they do not recognize it, you are the reason some people feel less invisible in this world. The third sign, you are independent to your very core. Society tells us to chase approval, to follow the path everyone else follows. Be louder, be stronger, be like them. But you are not like them, are you? You walk differently. You live differently. You are not afraid to be alone because alone does not mean lonely to you. Alone often feels like freedom. Do you ever notice how people try to label you mysterious, distant, or even cold? But deep down, that is not the truth. You simply refuse to betray yourself. You refuse to follow a script that was never written for you. And yes, it makes some people uncomfortable. They cannot control you. They cannot put you neatly into their categories. But what they do not say out loud is this: they admire you for it. They see a kind of freedom in you they secretly wish they had. And maybe sometimes you wish you could explain it. Tell them it is not that you reject them, it is that you refuse to reject yourself. The fourth sign, you feel everything intensely. Think of the last time you heard a song that moved you to tears, or the last time you saw a sunset and your chest ached with beauty, or that moment when a stranger did something kind, something small, but you could not stop thinking about it for days. Have you noticed how deeply you feel, how every moment sinks into you? And while others may laugh and call you too sensitive, you know your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is the very thing that allows you to live fully. Yes, it means you hurt more, because you notice every wound, every silence, every small rejection. But it also means you love more, because you see beauty in places where others see nothing. You carry art in your soul, even if you never paint. You carry poetry in your heart, even if you never write. This sensitivity is not something to hide. It is your superpower. It is the reason the world feels alive instead of empty. The fifth sign, you carry both strength and softness. Think about how many times people have leaned on you in crisis. Maybe at work, maybe in your family, maybe among your friends. When everything falls apart, people instinctively turn to you because you radiate calm. You seem unshaken. And yet inside, you are not only strong, you are also soft. You love deeply. You forgive more easily than you should. You keep hopping, even when life has given you reasons to give up. You are strong enough to carry others, but soft enough to never stop caring. And that balance, that quiet storm, that gentle rain makes you unforgettable. People may not say it, but they feel it. They feel safe with you. They feel anchored by you. And maybe you wonder, who anchors me? Because often the strong are left to carry the weight alone. But hear me, your softness is not weakness and your strength is not just duty. It is who you are. The sixth sign, you live in your inner world. Let me ask you, how many times have you drifted away into thought while everyone else was busy with noise? You imagine, you create, you dream, you reflect. Your inner world is vast, alive, and rich, sometimes more real than the world outside. And maybe people say you are distracted, or too quiet, or too lost in thought. But they do not know that in that private universe, you are building, shaping, and understanding life in ways they cannot imagine. Your inner world is where your creativity is born. It is where you recharge. It is where you feel safe enough to be your truest self. Never apologize for that. It is not an escape. It is a gift. And the seventh sign, you are always searching for purpose. Have you ever felt restless even when everything seemed fine? The job is okay, the people are okay, the life looks okay, and yet something feels missing. That is because your soul does not crave surface. It craves meaning. Fame, money, success, they might come, but they never satisfy you. What you want is to help, to heal, to create, to inspire, to change something, even if it is just for one person. You cannot just survive. You must live with purpose. And maybe that is why you sometimes feel out of place in a world that celebrates shallow victories. But let me tell you this, that restless search is not a curse. It is what makes your life profound. It is what will one day make your story worth telling. Now as you listen, maybe you feel something stirring. Maybe you are nodding. Maybe you are holding back tears. Because finally someone has put words to the way you have always felt. And I want you to know you are not broken. You are not too sensitive. You are not too quiet. You are not strange. You are rare. You are valuable. You are the quiet strength this noisy world desperately needs. Let me ask you, how many times have you wondered if anyone will ever truly understand you? How many nights have you asked yourself, will I always be this lonely? My friend, I want you to hear this. You will not be alone forever. When you walk authentically, when you stay true to who you are, the right souls will find you. You do not need to chase. You do not need to perform. You do not need to shrink yourself to be accepted. Your truth, your depth, your presence will draw the ones who are meant to walk beside you. Until then, honor yourself. Honor your solitude. Honor both your strength and your softness. The world may never fully understand the Sigma INFJ, but that is okay. You were not made to be understood by everyone. You were made to light a different kind of path. So the next time you doubt yourself, whisper these words. I am rare. I am real. I am enough. And the world is better because I exist. And if no one has told you this today, let me be the one. You are not alone. You are loved. You are needed. And your quiet presence matters more than you realize.